Hey guys, welcome to the Old Ultra Runner channel. I'm your host Jay Tynert, and today I wanted to do a race report on a race I did this weekend. I did the Paris Pear 25K. Trail Racing Over Texas decided a few years ago that they wanted to do a race on the NETT Trail. The NETT Trail stands for Northeast Texas Trail. It is they're converting a old rail line into a long hike and bike trail. There's a Northeast Texas Trail Coalition that is working with several local municipalities to finish out the trail. Sections of it are done, but the whole 130 miles is not yet complete. The hope was that eventually we'll be able to have long, like maybe a 100-mile race or 100K races on the NETT Trail without having to double back or anything. Anyway, Trail Racing Over Texas worked with Paris, Texas, which is about 2 hours north of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, northeast of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's actually very close to the Oklahoma border. Paris is a small town. I've been there several times in the past. They hold a bike ride every July, which is pretty popular. Nice little country roads. It's a very pleasant bike ride. I actually haven't done it in several years, but they did say while I was there that this year they had their 37th annual running of it. So it's 37th annual ride. So it's still going strong, and they had like 1,100 people in the ride this year. So nice event. Anyway, the trail through Paris they have blacktopped it. It is paved with blacktop, and there are the different groups doing different sections of trails. Some are planning to leave it a dirt trail, some are planning to make it gravel, and others will make it paved. So the NETT Trail, the 130 miles, once it's completed, will be a variety of surfaces. The plan, I think, this year was to go down there and do up to a 100K distance, but I think the race director's idea was that we were going to go like 31 miles out for the 100K and then 31 miles back. But it turned out that there's a bunch of construction on the trail, and we weren't able to pass that far. But we were able to run from Paris, and they ended up making the course. I think they said it was about 8.5 miles out, and they hit the construction. I think it was more like 9, but it turns out. But anyway, so they made the course to where you ran 7.75 miles down the trail and turned around and did 7.75 miles back. So it was a 25K distance from end to end. So me running the 25K, I just did it once. I went down to the end and came back. The 50K people did it twice. The 100K people did it 4 times. The trail is, like I said, it was blacktop. They have really nice lined trees on both sides, so it was shaded most of the time. There were a few places, I'm sure, in the middle of the day where you would have direct sun, that you would get sun on you. The weather for us that day was great for what we've had lately. It's been still hot in North Texas, but we had a cool front come in this week, and on race morning it was actually in the mid to upper 50s. Now it did zoom up during the day, and I think it hit 90 or low 90s Fahrenheit in the afternoon, which I'm sure made it a lot harder for the people running the longer distances. Just running the 25K, it got a little bit warm in the last half hour I was running, but for the most part it was pretty nice. Anyway, I actually decided on that morning, since we were just running on a trail that's going to look very similar the whole way, and it was paved, and I wanted to run pretty hard, I decided not to film during the race. So all I've got is a little bit of footage from before the race that I'll show you, and I've got a video of the 50K runners taking off. Anyway, I'll cut to that right now, and then I'll come back and tell you how my race went.
Okay, so we're here before the Paris Pear race put on by Trail Racing Over Texas. It's Saturday morning, September 25th. This morning they're putting on races of 5K, 10K, 25K, 50K, 100K. I'm doing the 25K. This is the Eiffel Tower they have in Paris, Texas, with a cowboy hat on top, if you can see it. It's still kind of dark here. Also have a race in the evening. They have. I'm doing the AM start. My race. I think they started the 100K people at 6 a.m. already, and at 7 a.m. they're starting the 50K. At 7:30 they'll start my 25K. This evening they're doing additional races. I don't really remember what all distances. I know they have a half marathon and a marathon that start like 7 p.m. tonight, something like that. But I'm just choosing to do the AM race. Anyway, we're here. I came in last night. I spent a night in a hotel, finished to grab some breakfast from the hotel, and I'm here for the start. It is 6:41 a.m. and I don't start till 7:30, so I'm just going to kind of mill about, decide whether I'm going to wear my pack and carry my camera or just wear a waist belt. Anyway, check in later. Bye. This is the start of the 50K runners. Hi, Lisa.
Good, Riley. No. Did you get to the hotel okay? No. What happened?
Long story, I'll tell you.
Did you never check in? Got a little idea?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit update on my race. Like I said, it was probably upper 50s when I started at 7:30 a.m., maybe close to 60. It never got real hot while I was running. It probably got up at over 70 probably by the time I finished. My race actually felt great that day. I was running pretty hard, which was surprising to me because it's been so hot and I feel like I've been running so slow all summer. But with the cooler weather and the nice easy surface to run on, I was moving pretty quick for me. I ended up finishing in 2 hours and 38 minutes for the 25K, which placed me 24th out of 57 runners, which would be fine. I will say though, a mistake on my part made that number look a good bit worse than it should have. I was running along, having a good race, and I was running along with another guy. We were talking and we missed the turnaround. So we went past the turnaround. We were supposed to turn around at 7.75 miles. The guy looks down at his watch and says, well, I'm a little bit over 8. Did we miss the turnaround? And I'm like, oh, it's a trail run. It's probably not that exact with measurements. Just let's keep going. So we kept going and we got to where we were 8.5 miles out. So we were like 3/4 of a mile past the turnaround. We figured out we have definitely missed it. And we ran back and we were thinking, well, maybe it was hard to see. No, it was very obvious. There were markers on both sides of the trail's probably 10 feet wide, but they had markers on both sides of the trail. There wasn't a cone in the center, but there were markers on both sides saying this is the place to turn around. It was very obvious, but we just, I guess, were talking away and missed it and went past. So I added 1.5 miles to my race. If I hadn't done the extra 1.5 miles, I did look down at when I hit 15.5 miles, and it would have been 2 hours and 22 minutes, which, looking in the results, I would have finished 12th out of 57 instead of 24th out of 57. So that actually is a really good result for an old guy like me. And this was my birthday run. I was 59 years old, and but I was quite happy with the run. And it was a lot of fun seeing friends. I finished and I hung out a little bit and talked to people. I had friends that were out on the course that were doing the 50K and other friends that were doing the 100K. I did not stay around for them. I packed up and headed home shortly after the race and enjoyed my afternoon at home. But anyway, it was a very pleasant experience. I'm looking forward to doing it next year. Trail Racing Over Texas is reducing their calendar next year, but in the fall, they won't be doing this race, but they're turning it over to Blaze Trails, which is another organization that does races in the North Texas area. They put on the Grasslands race, Rockledge Rumble, some of the other races I've done, and the 6-0 trail race I just did a few weeks ago. Well, they will be taking over the Paris race. So, and then the race director from Blaze Trails was there and helped with the setup this year to become more familiar with it and get to know the people in the Chamber of Commerce in Paris and everything. So the transition will go well. They're both great race organizations, and I do expect there to be good races up there in the future. Anyway, I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you had a good race if you raced this weekend. And other than that, keep moving.